Now, you were saying beforehand about, news not being reliable and clicks and all that kind of thing. Well, Wade Barrett, done not done. This story basically exposes the worst of all wrestling media of putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5,673. Just making stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I saw on the weekend. And at the moment, on my personal channel, I'm doing a lot more news at the moment.
Yes.
I'm really ramping up on the content. And this is one thing that I looked at and thought, I'm not doing a video on this because I don't buy it at all, which I'm quite proud to say I'm glad I didn't buy it because it made no sense. Or, it was all made up. Here's what it was. There's several things. Basically, the story is that it got out somehow. Someone made up that Wade Barrett has basically been fired by WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing commentary on SmackDown. He's been doing commentary here, there, and everywhere for WWE. But it starts here. Nikki Bella, who's just gone back to WWE, made a claim and a comment about Wade Barrett ahead of the WWE Clash in Paris show on the Bella Twins podcast. This is what she said.
I would love to have a conversation with Wade Barrett, and he avoided me on Monday, which was shocking because he always comes up and says hi to me, and he tried to avoid making eye contact with me in the hallway. And I understand when you want to be a heel commentator and stuff, but then there's one thing of like, Michael Cole does this beautifully, and this is why Michael Cole is one of the greatest commentators. He knows how to take a life story and put it into what we do, because that is real. We don't go out there as robots or superheroes. We're actually professional athletes, and we go through real things, and we have to, put that a part of it. And honestly, that stuff really doesn't bother me because I get it. Like, I was watching the pre-show and I saw what Wade was saying about me, even the pre-show, and I was sitting there getting ready in the locker room. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Like, okay. Not sending you a Christmas card.
But what I loved is how Michael Cole then put it, like, about, what I've been to, what got me here, this era of me.
Basically complaining about what Wade Barrett said about her on a pre-show.
What did he say about her, though?
Okay, this is from Cage Size Seats. Since when has being desperate for success an insult? Becky Lynch is somebody who's completely changed the game from Nikki Bella's era, the Divas era. And Nikki Bella was fantastic. She was the top performer within the confines that she had to work with in that era. The game has changed. It's not even close these days. Now, Becky Lynch is somebody who has dragged women's wrestling into the 21st century and beyond. She is the standard bearer of how great women's wrestling is today. Becky Lynch was a Hall of Famer many years ago. She won it all many years ago. She can go and retire on a desert island with all her millions or clear off to Hollywood anytime she wants. The fact that she is desperate to stay number one in this industry is something we should be applauding, and I'm absolutely disgusted in Nikki Bella's words. So basically, Wade Barrett is being a heel commentator and saying that Nikki Bella's era doesn't compare to Becky Lynch's, and she's not the performer that Becky was.
So that's what he said, that?
Yeah.
And she got
okay. Butt hurt over it.
And she got mad about that.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to, I don't know about that. Okay. As a shoot, she is mad at him.
Yeah. And she also claimed that Wade Barrett avoided her, the Raw, after those comments were made. But here's Wade Barrett's response. I had no idea Nicole felt this way, and I'm happy to have this conversation anytime she likes. I wish she brought it up when we said hello to each other at Raw, rather than via her podcast. I don't understand the avoiding claim at all, simply not true. What's this made-up drama, Dutch?
Well, that's a personal issue. They're going to have to settle it between themselves. But I don't think what Wade said, that's his job, to commentate. And if she gets mad about that, I mean, all heel commentators would be. Can you imagine what she would have said if Bobby Heenan had been out there talking about her?
Yeah,
Paul
she would have gone to a
Heyman
convent
talking about her,
yeah.
or anybody else that was as a short commentator. They're paid to do that. So if he said it on commentary, that's his job. It's all I can say. And if this is a shoot, I think she's getting upset over nothing.
So Wade Barrett and Nikki Bella have already smoothed things over. That was confirmed by Wade. Here's the thing. Here's the crux of this. Wade Barrett was then taken off commentary. and it wasn't announced why. He was replaced, I don't know if he was replaced on SmackDown or whatever last week. I can't remember. I can't get the days right. But basically, he wasn't going to be on commentary. So somebody then decided to post that Wade Barrett had been fired or had been taken off commentary permanently. Just made it up out of thin air. To the point that all the other wrestling news websites picked up on it and posted this. Or pretty much all of them did. Without corroborating. To the point that Wade Barrett, real name Stu Bennett, went on social media to dispel the rumours. I usually ignore BS reports like this, but it's causing needless hate to be spewed towards people I work with. WWE have kindly given me a couple of weeks off for personal time, booked 9 months ago, and then I'm back to business as usual, a complete non-story, the end.
Well, I believe Wade. If he put that out there, I believe him. See, I read his wife was pregnant and had a baby.
Well, I mean, 9 months is a suspicious time, but...
Well, yeah. And that's probably where that came from when I heard 9 months. But, hey, that's a non-story now to me. They'll straighten it out. And
yeah, but does it annoy you, though? Does it annoy you? You know, all the wrestling news websites are constantly guessing.
Hey, they've always annoyed me. Guys like Dave Meltzer back in the day, you know, at one time, Dave Meltzer was like, anything he said was gospel. Anything he said had to be true. So I've taken a lot of heat off, you know, Dave Meltzer because people would read it, believe it, and he could have said anything. I can honestly say I have never sought out a Dave Meltzer observer unless it was just laying around and I picked it up. And yeah, I'd read it if I had access to it. But as far as me going out of my way to get the Observer newsletter, never did it because I didn't believe any of his stuff anyway. And a lot of that stuff was planted. And there were a lot of guys who were calling Meltzer to get their names out. You know who one of the ones that Meltzer had a good relationship with?
I know you're going to say Eddie Gilbert
and
Brody
and
Pillman.
I don't know. I didn't know about Pillman.
I think Chris Jericho has. I think, and I may just be guessing, I think Steve Austin did for a very long time.
Possible.
The Rock did at one point, I believe. Don't know how close, but yeah. Basically, Terry Funk did. I know that. I don't know about, well, Paul Heyman, you were going to say as well. Quite a lot of people. Bill Watts, I think, might have done. Or maybe that's the other one. I don't know. There were a lot.
Well, the names would surprise you. Bill Watts, that surprises me because I didn't know that because he hated those guys. He literally hated them. But turns around that if it's true that Bill did communicate with Meltzer, you know, it changes how I look at Bill because he preaches one thing, he did another.
I think I'm right in saying, but yeah, he
may have heard of something that Meltzer wrote about him, Bill Watts, and Bill may have been calling him up just to set the record straight.
If somebody can confirm that to me, I don't want to be telling tales out of school, but I'm pretty sure that Bill Watts was somebody who was in communication with at least some of the dirt sheets. I know for a fact he was giving interviews to Pro Wrestling Torch, and they were the interviews that I think ended up costing him his career in WCW. So it's not like he was, you know, a stranger to the insider.
Okay, what was he fired in WCW?
He made rather racist. Well, look, they were trying to get rid of him one way or another, but they found these interviews from like 18 months earlier, some racist connotations to some comments he made in an interview, I think in a Pro Wrestling Torch interview, and Aaron Rodgers, the baseball guy, was one of the higher ups in Turner, and it got to him. Hank Aaron. Who did I say?
Yeah, I don't know. You said something else. I think you said, I'm trying to think of the name.
Whatever.
He was the home run king for a while.
Yeah. All right, the home run king guy. Anyway, he's black, and then he read the comments, and that was sort of the impetus to get rid of Bill Watts, among other reasons, I guess.
Well, they got rid of him, and quick.
Yeah.
Very fast.